Hello. Here we are with the presentation on transfer admissions, transfer students, financial aid, and with Drexel University. Um, they kindly are offering this presentation today. There are many students interested in transferring, so we're very excited to know a little bit more about the process and about Drexel University. So I leave you with Maggie Ho. Thank you very much, Maggie, for being with us today.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Hello, everyone. I do sincerely apologize that my camera is not working. It's not connecting, but I don't look any different than my photos, so hopefully it will be a friendly face for you to look at throughout the presentation. But thank you so much for having me. My name is Maggie. I am one of the assistant directors of undergraduate admissions at the university, and it is a privilege for me to talk to you about transfer admissions and financial aid generally, about transferring to a university or college within the United States. So what is transfer admissions and why do some people do it? Transfer admissions is basically moving from one institution to another, whether you are at a community college or at a four-year institution. You might want to switch and change pathways and have other opportunities. So transfer students transfer for various reasons, whether for financial reasons, changing for different opportunities and majors, a fresh start, moving to a different location. There are many reasons why students choose to transfer to a different school. Now, transferring is actually a great option to consider. About a third of all college students in the US do transfer before graduating. Just some relative numbers for you. At UCLA, their transfers are about 36%, and at Drexel, we have about a student population of 25% of transfers. So it is not anywhere on your diploma that you transferred, so it doesn't say your old university or old institution, and it also says your new one. Wherever you end up graduating is where you end up earning your degree from. So what school should you start at? It really depends on what you want out of your experience. You can start at a community college or you can start at a four-year institution. Both experiences could be very different, but you can pick whichever one is best suited for your needs. So some students do choose to go to community college to adjust to collegiate level courses, explore their options, and then once they figure out what they really want to pursue with their career and their education, then they transfer to a four-year institution. Or maybe you did start off at a four-year institution and maybe you just wanted a change of scenery or wanted a completely different program that your current university does not offer, and you can transfer to another university or college. The application process can be a little different depending on which school you apply to, so just make sure that you do your research when you are looking into different schools or community colleges. When you are transferring credits, typically schools do look for a grade of C or higher to be able to transfer to the new school. There might be dual admissions programs, meaning a community college may have a partnership with a university or college in that area, and if you choose to pursue an associate's degree or a two-year degree at the community college, those credits will definitely transfer into that university. Again, you do have to do some of that research to make sure that it does transfer in and the prerequisites do meet the requirements, but those are some options for you when you're thinking about transferring your credits to another school. The application process is pretty simplified for most universities. You can apply and submit the application via the school. Some are on the Common App, so you can look for that. We typically would look for college transcripts if you are coming from a community college or university and hold around 24 credits or more. If you have less than 1 year of collegiate experience, requirements, typically schools will ask you for a high school transcript as well, just for additional context on your academic ability. Some applications will ask you for a personal essay. That's no different than a first-year student application. So just brush up your essay, and you can submit that with your transfer application. Any additional materials would typically be letters of recommendations, either from a counselor, from your existing college, university, or community college, peers that you have worked with, managers. Anybody can really write you a letter of recommendation. It just has to come from the recommender themselves. If you do participate in any community activities, if any student organizations, schools typically love looking at that as well. So you can send in a resume or fill out the activity section of the application. There are a few different ways of financing and investing in an education. Four main ways are scholarships, need-based grants, typically from the government, and that means that it's money that you don't typically have to pay back. It is gifted to you from the government. You could also finance your education through student employment and taking out loans either through the government or a private agency. Now, scholarships can come in various ways, either by merit or what you've earned based on your grades, or special leadership, performing arts. Sometimes you can earn athletic scholarships or ROTC scholarships. So you should look into what each school does. For example, Drexel University does consider every student for merit-based scholarship, so you don't have to do an extra application for that. It is automatically built into the review process, but other universities do require you to apply for that merit scholarship, so make sure that you are doing research on the type of school that you are applying to, and if you have to do that additional application for scholarship opportunities. Certain universities also have additional scholarship opportunities that you can apply for. For example, Drexel University does have a full tuition scholarship opportunity called Liberty Scholars, but students have to apply to that after they apply to the university. So like other schools, there might be additional scholarships that you can apply for outside of the main process. And of course, if you do earn any scholarships from your local community, an organization that you're part of, third-party scholarships, that all can be applied to your education and your tuition as well. We recommend that you look for these scholarships on your own. You don't typically have to pay an agency or a server to find you these scholarships. You can do this by yourself for free. So if you do need help, we'd be happy to support you in that and guide you towards the right direction, but you typically do not have to pay to look for scholarships. Any need-based grants. So some schools do accept the FAFSA and CSS profile for financial aid and need-based aid. Specifically at Drexel, for example, we accept the FAFSA for students that are domestic here, and they ask for the federal government to provide them grants, which is money that is gifted to them. They don't have to pay it back, and potentially be provided loans that they do borrow and would eventually have to pay back. Schools may also use the CSS profile, which is a separate financial form found on the College Board website. Drexel University definitely uses this form, and other institutions do use this form as well. And on our end, international students can use this as their financial aid and financial need-based aid consideration. Some other universities will do this as well. So just make sure you look into the financial requirements for each place that you're applying for and what that means when you are applying. Student employment, typically students can apply for a work study if they are a domestic student and they're given that grant from the government, or you could just apply for an on-campus position and they would pay you on an hourly rate, similar to work study, but it would be coming out of the university's budget and not the federal government's budget. You could look for all of these jobs on a specific school's website. It should be under student work or work study. So how much does a college education actually cost, and what are you investing in? So a direct cost is exactly what you see when you get your acceptance letter and you see kind of a receipt of what to expect to pay for. So the big things are your tuition and fees involved with being a student at the university. You also have room and board where you would be living and what your meal plan may be. Sometimes universities will require you to join their health insurance plan if you do not have your own health insurance, and these costs will appear on the college bill. So just make sure that you check if you can opt out of health insurance with a university or college if you already have existing health insurance, but these are your direct costs. Some indirect costs that may vary student to student would be your books and supplies, off-campus living, depending on the type of apartment or housing situation you are in, any personal expenses, transportation. For example, if you're using public transportation versus a car, that could cost you very differently in the long run. So your direct costs and your indirect costs added together would be the total cost of attendance per student. How much will it cost? Expected family contribution, or EFC, basically is what is estimated to be paid for by the student, their families, and or guardians, and what you would be responsible for. So the cost of attendance minus the expected financial need is what you would be paying for. And then the university net price calculator can be found on each university's website, and this can help you better estimate what is your responsibility when paying for college and the investment. Certain questions that you should be asking universities and schools as you start doing research about where you want to go, or when you're speaking to a representative, you should ask if tuition goes up every year so that you can plan for it if that is something that happens. If tuition increases, does aid increase as well? Certain things like loan repayment, when and how, where do I go to pay for the bill on the portal? Then you should speak with an advisor on payment plans or how you choose to pay for your education moving forward. All right, so that was about the transfer and financial aid experience overall, applying to any U.S. schools and colleges. I'm going to speak briefly about Drexel University, as we are partnering with Education USA on this presentation. Drexel University is located within Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We are an R1 research institution, meaning we have a very high level of funding for students to get involved in research, and you could actually do that within your first couple of years at the university. Our undergraduate population right now is 14,000 undergraduate students, and our student to faculty ratio is 10:1, meeting class sizes of 19 students each. We offer over 80 undergraduate majors, and they fall within one of these academic units in schools. We started off as an engineering school over 100 years ago, but we've grown quite a bit since we started as an institution. This photo right here is of our main building. In present day, it is now more of an administrative building. So if you happen to visit campus, this is where we would greet you. This is where you would get your information session. But back in the day when we started, this is where every single class was held. So we have a much larger campus than this one building, but this is where it all started. If you are interested in getting both a bachelor's and graduate degree, we also offer accelerated combined and bridge programs. So if you wanted to get a bachelor's in business and then add one additional year for an MBA, that is absolutely possible. If you wanted to get a bachelor's and master's in engineering all within 5 years, that is also possible. So if you want the full list of accelerated programming, that is available on our website. Something that we're really proud of is our unique curriculum. We love tying in what you're learning in class to a hands-on experience. So take, for example, this photo right here. This is actually Pepper, the robot. Her name is Pepper, and Pepper is from the biomedical engineering school. They use Pepper to understand human behavior and how you interact with people and understanding brain function. So it's a really cool way to apply what you're learning in a biomedical engineering class to a hands-on experience. A little bit about student life. We are on Market Street, which is why we say Market Street Madness. We have over 300 student organizations that you can participate in, everything from honor societies, Greek life, volunteering groups, traveling clubs, to the performing arts, if you sing, if you're in theater, or if you play an instrument, as well as athletics. We are D1 in 9 men's and 9 women's sports, and we also have club sports and intramural sports if you don't want to play at that competitive level. This is a photo from the edge of campus into Center City, Philadelphia. So you can clearly see that we're right next to the city. Although we are an urban school, we very much have our own campus. And then you can be part of the greater Philadelphia area if you choose to walk in. My name is Maggie. I'm covering for my colleague, Emily Santana. This is her email, E as in elephant, S as in Sam, 3222 at Drexel.edu. Emily is actually the territory manager for your schools. So the best point of contact as you go through the application process, if you are interested in Drexel specifically, would be Emily. So this is the end of my presentation. I hope that it was helpful to you. I'd be happy to answer any questions or stay on if you did need anything at all.
Hi, Maggie.
Hello.
I put a question there because we get a couple of popular questions. I'm going to send you here one of them, and it's just one is like, am I considered a transfer student if I study a semester? And the other part of the question is sometimes a year, right, in Chile. And that person is not interested in transfer any credits. Just they're worried about the status and how they might affect, how it might affect the scholarship as well.
Okay. So if are they considered a transfer student if they only studied a semester up to a year in Chile? Typically, it is by credit, so we have to look at the transcript. And if the student has less than 24 collegiate credits, then we would have to review for their high school credential as well. At any point, some schools cannot tell you how much you're coming in with until they go through the full review process. Specifically at Drexel, you have to be accepted into your program before they even start a transfer credit evaluation, and we cannot guarantee a certain minimum level of credit to come in. So that does have to come along with the process of applying. Some students will come in with quite a few credits that can knock out a semester or a term of classes. Some students may start from scratch. It really just depends on what programming they are coming in with and what program they're looking to pursue at the university.
Okay, but and then if they're in doubt of applying as transfer students or freshmen, they should just contact you directly then and ask you and tell you about their situation, maybe.
Yes. So some
Okay.
students, especially if they are a potential transfer student, it is a case by case basis. So if you are worried about if you should apply as a first year student or a transfer student, you should always contact the admissions office of whichever schools you are interested in, and they can clarify with you if your specific situation will identify you as a first year or a transfer in their admissions office.
Thank you so much. We get that a lot, not only in Chile, actually in other countries as well, because it depends on the curriculum of each country. But in Chile, we have one in general that
Mm-hmm.
is a bit more strict than in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that easy to change majors. And when they change their minds, some students realize they don't want to study that major
Right.
because you apply to the major in Chile, not to the university only.
Mm-hmm.
So they decide to study something else and they have to start all over again many times.
Yes, ma'am. So definitely reach out to the school that you're interested in, contact their admissions office, and they will have better clarification for you of their admissions process and what qualifies as a first year student coming in or a transfer student.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you so much again for all the information and also on Drexel. It looks amazing. And I don't know if you would like to add anything else. I don't think we have any more questions today.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. Again, if you are interested in learning more about Drexel University, you could always reach out to Emily or Google my name, Maggie at Drexel. Any one of us would be happy to support you. Overall, we're just trying to help students figure out where they want to spend the next chapter of their life, whether that be Drexel or another institution. So feel free to reach out if you do have any questions or concerns.
Thank you so much again. Have a great day.
Have a great
Thank you
day.
again.
So much. Have a good night. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.